The 2002 to 2003 season began with Leeds, now managed by Terry Venables, selling Rio Ferdinand to rivals Manchester United for £30 million. Kevin Keegan's newly promoted Manchester City also splashed the cash, signing Nicolas Anelka for £13 million from PSG. Elsewhere, Liverpool recruited El Hadji Diouf, Middlesbrough brought in Massimo Maccarone, Leeds sold Robbie Keane to Tottenham, Dwight Yorke joined Blackburn, and Bolton pulled off a major coup with the signing of J.J. Okocha. As usual, Manchester United's early season form was a major talking point. Sir Alex Ferguson's side suffered a home loss against Sam Allardyce's Bolton for the second season in a row, this time by 1-0 before Leeds inflicted the same result on the Red Devils at Elland Road 3 days later. Champions Arsenal, meanwhile, went unbeaten in their first 9 league games. The pick of the results came in August when Sylvain Wiltord scored twice as Arsene Wenger's side hammered newly promoted West Brom 5-2 at Highbury. Fellow title challengers, Liverpool also started well. Their main source of goals, Michael Owen, scored a hat-trick in a 3-0 win at Manchester City in September. 2 months into the 2002 to 2003 campaign, Arsenal were 2 points ahead of Liverpool at the top and 6 points ahead of Manchester United. Steve McLaren's Middlesbrough surprisingly occupied 3rd place, while 7th-placed Leeds struggled for consistency. In the bottom half, Champions League-chasing Newcastle got off to a rocky start. Steve Bruce's Birmingham were enjoying their first Premier League season in 14th, and Glenn Roeder's West Ham, dubbed too good to go down by some, propped up the table. In October, Arsenal looked set to extend their 30-match unbeaten league run when Freddie Ljungberg put the Gunners ahead at Everton. Thomas Radzinski levelled the score 14 minutes later, meaning it was all to play for in the second half. With 80 minutes played, Everton manager David Moyes introduced academy star Wayne Rooney in Radzinski's place. As the clock ticked down, the 16-year-old controlled a hopeful pass forward from Thomas Graverson before turning, taking a couple of touches and curling a long-range effort over David Seaman off the underside of the crossbar and into the net. "Remember the name, Wayne Rooney," said commentator Clive Tildesley, as English football's new star was born and Everton won 2-1 to end Arsenal's unbeaten run. A week after Arsenal's first league defeat in 30 games, Dwight Yorke scored the winner as Blackburn earned a shock 2-1 victory at Highbury. The surprises didn't end there, as James Beattie inspired Southampton to a 3-2 victory over Arsene Wenger's side at St Mary's, before Juan Sebastian Veron and Paul Scholes secured a 2-0 win for Manchester United over their rivals at Old Trafford. In doing so, the Gunners lost for the 4th time in 8 league games, but they remained in the title picture thanks to another 12-game unbeaten run between December and March. Manchester United surprisingly lost the Manchester Derby 3-1 in November before a 4-game winning run, including a 5-3 home victory over Sir Bobby Robson's improving Newcastle, ensured they remained competitive at the top. On Christmas Day, Arsenal held a 2-point lead over Claudio Ranieri's Chelsea. Manchester United sat in 3rd place, and Everton overtook Liverpool after Gerard Houlliers' side lost 4 matches in a row during an 11-game winless league run. West Brom, Bolton and West Ham occupied the bottom 3 places at Christmas. Leeds found themselves in a serious relegation battle, while struggling Sunderland replaced Peter Reid with Howard Wilkinson. On Boxing Day, Leeds fans finally had some good news when 16-year-old James Milner found the net in a 2-1 win over Sunderland to break Wayne Rooney's record as the Premier League's youngest goalscorer. Unfortunately, bad news followed when Jonathan Woodgate joined Newcastle. Manchester City signed Robbie Fowler and Lee Bowyer departed for West Ham as Leeds' dire financial situation came to light. In the title race, Arsenal were 5 points clear at the top before losing 2-0 against Blackburn at Ewood Park. On the same day, Manchester United extended their 9-match unbeaten league run to 10 games with a 1-0 win at Aston Villa, with David Beckham scoring the only goal. By the end of March, Arsenal were still top of the table, with Manchester United breathing down their necks. Newcastle won 9 games out of 12 to move up to third, while Chelsea and Liverpool were out of the title running. In the bottom half, a 6-game losing run saw Sunderland bring a swift end to Howard Wilkinson's time at the club, with Mick McCarthy appointed in his place. West Ham and West Brom remained in the relegation zone, while Leeds brought in Peter Reid as boss after sacking Terry Venables. Unsurprisingly, Mick McCarthy was unable to save plummeting Sunderland. The Black Cats' relegation was confirmed with a 2-0 defeat against Birmingham with 5 games of the season to go. A week later, West Brom consigned Sunderland to an 11th successive league defeat with a 2-1 win at the Stadium of Light. Gary Megson's side left it too late to launch a great escape, and they were relegated despite getting all 3 points. Leeds, meanwhile, thumped Charlton 6-1 at the Valley to produce one of the season's most shocking results, easing their relegation fears in the process. Back at the top of the table, Manchester United appeared to have a tougher run-in than Arsenal, but that didn't matter to Sir Alex Ferguson's side. They battered Liverpool 4-0 at Old Trafford before a Paul Scholes hat-trick helped the Red Devils to another high-scoring win over Newcastle, this time 6-2 at St James's Park. Arsenal, by contrast, started dropping points at the wrong time of the season. An own goal from Kolo Touré meant the Gunners came away from Aston Villa with a 1-1 draw, while Thierry Henry's 2 goals were only enough to secure a point in a 2-2 draw with title rivals Manchester United. A 2-0 win over Middlesbrough followed before another 2-2 draw at Bolton, and suddenly the title was Manchester United's to lose. In early May, Manchester United extended their unbeaten league run to 17 games when Ruud van Nistelrooy scored a hat-trick in a 4-1 win over Charlton. The next day, Arsenal had to beat Leeds at Highbury to stand a chance of retaining the Premier League trophy. Harry Kewell scored after 5 minutes, meaning Manchester United were champions as things stood. Thierry Henry equalised on the half-hour mark for Arsenal before an Ian Hart free-kick gave Peter Reid's men the lead again. Dennis Bergkamp kept Arsenal's title hopes alive with a leveller on 70 minutes, before Mark Viduka grabbed a late winner to seal a pulsating 3-2 victory. As a result, Leeds secured Premier League safety, while Manchester United were crowned Premier League champions. With West Brom and Sunderland down, the final relegation spot would be occupied by Bolton or West Ham. Trevor Brooking took charge of West Ham for the final 3 games after manager Glenn Roeder was diagnosed with a brain tumour. Brooking led the Hammers to 1-0 wins over Manchester City and Chelsea, setting up a nervy finale. Bolton and West Ham were level on 41 points, but Bolton's superior goal difference meant West Ham had to better their relegation rivals' result on the final day. Paolo Di Canio scored a late equaliser as West Ham drew 2-2 at Birmingham, but the point wasn't enough. Bolton beat Middlesbrough 2-1 to secure safety, and the day ended with goalscorer J.J. Okocha dancing on the pitch with Sam Allardyce. The 2002-2003 season concluded with West Ham, West Brom and Sunderland getting relegated. West Ham went down with a record-high 42 points, while Sunderland's campaign ended with a disastrous 15-game losing run. In the top half, Chelsea beat Liverpool to the 4th Champions League place thanks to a 2-1 final day win over the Reds. Ultimately, this season finished with yet another Manchester United title charge after Christmas. From December 28th onwards, Sir Alex Ferguson's side went 18 league games unbeaten, winning 15 and drawing only 3, as they pipped Arsenal to top spot by 5 points. For more classic football stories, click the link on screen to watch a full review of the Premier League in the 1990s.